We are back with another Tea and Tight special, and our guest this week is one of the fastest rising, highest flying young superstars on the UK independent scene. In 2021 alone, he has competed for Wrestle Carnival, DNA Pro Wrestling, Fight Nation Wrestling, Reloaded Championship Wrestling Association, British Wrestling Revolution, Rev Pro UK, Tidal Championship Wrestling, and in Austria for Rings of Europe. He is the protege of Will Ospreay, the Prince of Pace, Callum Newman. Welcome to the show, Callum.
Hello. You need to announce me for my matches now.
A personal ring announcer, I am available. It definitely...
I can get that every show, it'd be fine. Just walking through the door.
No problem. And of course, we are Tea and Tights, a Great British Wrestling podcast for Great British Wrestling, as featured on bodyslam.net, brought to you by Powered 4 TV. I am your host, the Great British Otaku, Mr. Andrew Moore, Andy to most, and as always, my co-host is Big Daddy Dan, Daniel Allen, or just Dan for short. We're stealing your gimmick, Lando.
Oh, hello. I am so glad to have you on here, Callum, because I'm going to be completely honest with you. I've been dying to have you as a guest because you are my favourite UK wrestler at the moment.
Sick. Thank you.
Hang on. Definitely one of the top UK guys right now. And considering you've literally kind of maybe started in 2018, is that right?
Yeah, ish. Like, I wrestled under a mask for ages when I was like 15. And so I kind of, I guess kept as kind of like a secret, but I wasn't really known by anyone. But then when I kind of started doing more stuff for Will's Young Lions, I think that's when I started like breaking out a little bit more. But yeah, the mask days are behind me now. It wasn't very good.
Because yeah, let's consider it the fact that most of 2019 got ruined.
Yeah.
Most of 2020 and 2021, it's not be great, and yet you still manage to become one of the biggest stars on the scene in such a short period of time. And you just mentioned him, Mr. Will Ospreay. You were part of his Young Lions system. You have become known as Will Ospreay's protege. What's been the comparisons that you get to Will Ospreay? What's all that like?
I don't know. It was weird at first because, like, so I met him at, like, the first time when I was like 15 at a seminar, and we were just doing like silly moves and that. He kept calling me Eddie Guerrero. And then I was at another training school. It was me and another guy. He called us Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio because the other guy was quite short. And I was at another training school, and he messaged my dad saying, get Callum to London School of Lucha Libre. And then after, I think I hit like 16, I was all right, I know this person here, I know this person here. Messaged like the guy running, he went, right, you have to turn up, but you have to have your parents there in case anything goes wrong, because Lucha was like a over 18 kind of school. And I was like, right, you know these people here, so they kind of vouch for you, but just you have to have a written thing from your parents saying it's okay to train you, and they have to be there to make sure you're all right. I was like, fine. And then Will turned up, and then from there, I think that's how we started kind of doing the whole training thing. And then after that, I just started doing all these moves. I was doing them all anyway, but then I started kind of getting good, like with Will teaching me. But then I started doing like Oz cutters and trying Robinson specials and all that kind of stuff. And then everyone's like, okay, he's the next Will Ospreay. And the first match I had without a mask, my trainer, Greg Burridge, was ring announcing. They went, he's the next Will Ospreay. And then since then, everyone's like, okay, he's Callum. And the first time I met Greg, he wasn't at the training school. I was with Gary. And he was saying how, oh, I've heard you're the next Will. Right, I guess I'm training you now. Like, cheers, mate. Nice. Like,
No
all right,
pressure.
I guess I'm Will now.
Now, you see, I'm not sure if you have listened to our podcast before, but we once spoke about the fact that your lovely mum approached us at a show one day, and she literally told us that the day before that you were training in your back garden with Will Ospreay, with Joe Lando, and a few others. I mean, just to have Will Ospreay come to your place to in your backyard to work with you. What's that like?
It was weird, like, because I think he put he got like he done a question thing on Instagram, and I just put in there, "Do you want to come backyard?" And then he went, "Yeah, haha." I think he was like, "Whatever, he's just saying it." But I messaged him. I was like, "If you want to come round, it's there. Like, just like, you know where I live, turn up." Because like ages ago, he picked me up to take me to a progress show and stuff like that. Like, he has helped me loads, but yeah. He was like, "Oh wait, seriously? Because I've got a house full of people. Can we like just get out the house?" I was like, "Yeah, cool, turn up." And then he turned up with, it was him, B, Juice Robinson, and Tony Storm, and they're all just backyarding, jumping about, and then Juice is doing moonsaults and shit. I'm like, what's going on? I don't know what's happening. Like, all these like massive stars are in my back garden, and I'm just stood there like, "Hello, can I do moves, please?" But no, it's insane, because it's like I looked up to him for years, and like he's like the main reason why I wrestle the way I wrestle and where I am now. And they're essentially messing about in my back garden. It's like, I don't know how I got to this point. It is really weird.
That's just absolutely crazy stories. And of course, was he able to get you in with Rev Pro UK then? Because you haven't gone through like the contenders division with Rev Pro, did you?
No, so I think I started off just kind of helping at the shows, like helping out like the York Hall events, and so I just showed my face and I went to training. And I think Will just gave me a bit of a push, and then Andy gave me like an opportunity at the cockpit show against Senza Volto, and then he was like, "Oh, that's like a good opportunity or a good like introduction for you. We'll see where it goes next." And then after a while, he didn't really use me, but then I was put on the no fan shows, and then I was pretty much on most of them. And now he's using me regularly, which I'm quite like grateful for. Because Andy's helped me loads. He's sick. Give him like all the help ever. I think like, especially at the end, like I'm stuttering loads. I can't talk, even though I love to waffle. But I think like the last half of this year, Andy's given me like a massive push and helped me loads in like wrestling wise.
You've had some absolutely barn burners in Rev Pro UK, and I'm sure we'll get around to a few of the opponents, because you know you've literally started to get a list of who's who, not just in British wrestling, but some of the top names, even like Shota Umino from New Japan right now. You went in a singles contest with him. And of course, very recently, you actually stood against the United Empire, against your mentor, Mr. Will Ospreay. And, well, the crowd started chanting that he was a shit Callum Newman.
Yep.
I bet he loved that.
Because so he started the match. It's been like, "Oh, it's my trainee. Come over here. We'll turn it into a 4-on-2 handicap. Come on." And then as I turned, he went, "B-Tech Ospreay, come here." And that's how the match started. And then halfway through, all like, I was speaking to Robbie about something, and then all we hear is, "You're a shit Callum Newman." And then just looking at Will's face, and I'm creasing on the apron. Like giving him the fingers, the lot, and then just the look in his eyes, I was like, "You're gonna be mad at me."
This won't go well.
Yeah, and I heard apparently they've done it at York Hall as well. Like his main event against Shota, they've done it at York Hall. Like, sick.
That's just, yeah, again, the comparisons, because he's even said that at his age, comparison to you yourself now, that you are ahead of where he was. Definitely size-wise, you are a lot bigger than what he was when he was your age, but he seems to think it's technique-wise, everything, and
that must be great to hear.
Yeah.
When he first told me it, like ages and ages ago, it was just at a training, like just a training day. And I was really confused by it. I was like, what does that mean? Because I'm dumb to most things, and I usually zone out quite a lot. And I just didn't have a clue what he meant. But then he said it again a little while ago. I was like, Jesus. And then when everyone else heard it, like, oh, are you going to go past Will? Are you going to get to his level soon? I'm like, I don't know. I just want to do flips right now. I'm kind of happy, like, not focusing on the future. That's like, I don't really focus on loads of stuff like big in the future, because everyone's, oh, you're going to go to Japan, you want to do this, you want to go to the main event, this, that, and the other. But I'm just really happy main event in a show here right now. But then when Will says that, everyone says it in my head. Am I really better than Will at this age? But then I kind of bring myself back down. I'm like, no, I don't want to start thinking about it. Otherwise, if I think like that and end up just being shit and I just suck, I'm like, that ain't going to help me or anyone.
No, that's it's absolutely incredible. And of course, somebody, a big superstar, UK superstar, Paul Robinson, literally made his return today. You mentioned the Robinson special. He returned for Reloaded Championship Wrestling Association, the RCWA, over in Rainham, Essex, where you're a hometown boy. And
yeah,
what was it like being, I mean, because as far as I'm aware, you were actually a hand-picked opponent, you know, for Paul Robinson to, so
yeah.
again, what's that kind of like to be in that role?
I think it's just like kind of the same with the Will stuff, because we're like, same again, I kind of watched Paul for years and like seeing all the stuff he's done in Progress and seeing all the cool stuff he does, and everyone kind of looks up to Paul. For him to go like, right, I want to wrestle you. Like, fuck. Right, okay, it's time to kind of step up now. And at first, he was kind of like, oh, we're gonna have like a slow match and we probably won't do much. And then when we got in the ring, got like quite giddy. And, like you see in his eyes, he was getting excited. I was like, right, this is the Paul I want. This is where it's gonna get good. But yeah, like it's weird because I always just kind of see myself this little chavvy Essex boy that kind of just like, I don't know, just this little chavvy Essex boy that no one kind of really pays attention to. And then for people like Paul and Will to kind of look at you and go, right, okay, I want to do this for you. I want to wrestle you. So where's this come about? How's this happened?
You can't be a little chavvy Essex boy, because I lived in Essex for a little while, and I found that most Essex boys are little. You must be about 3 or 4 inches taller than pretty much every other boy in Essex.
I walk around where I live and everyone kind of like looks at me and goes, all right, lamppost. But like, I don't like puffy jackets. I stay away from them. My missus tried getting me to wear one. I was like, yeah, it's not happening. I don't want to fall into the bracket now.
Robbo certainly lives up to that bracket every time he comes down to the ring, and he had so much fun with the crowd, and you could see the way the crowd responded to him. Talk us through the opening stages of that match, because he really did play up a lot, I guess.
Yeah, it was just fun because he like gave it to the crowd, and then he was behaving for a little bit, and I think once the crowd started giving it back, that's when he woke up even more, and that's when like the middle fingers popped up and the swearing started, and he cut a promo at the end. It's like, right, cool, Robbo's back for good.
Of course, yeah. Let's talk about, because that is Will Ospreay versus Paul Robinson, the Swords of Essex, clashing once again, because, as you say, he did pick up the victory and he decided to continue a bit of a thing. And then, of course, Will Ospreay appeared on the back screen, and it's January 22nd?
Yeah, 21st, 22nd, I think. It's a Friday.
And of course, that will be available exclusively on Powered 4 TV a few weeks after it has been recorded. I'm absolutely looking forward to that. I'm sure everybody is. And you are on the card. So is Joe Lando, Warren Banks, and I can't remember who it was.
Darcy Stone is MOS. I don't know who else. I'm trying to think of who's already been announced.
But that's going to be an absolutely, fantastic main event, and we look forward to seeing that one. But let's talk about some of what you've been up to in Rev Pro UK, because you recently got to fight who I thought was probably the top guy in that, is Ricky Knight Jr.
Yeah.
RKJ. What was it like being in the ring with RKJ?
It was really fun because I wrestled because we had that ladder match on the Friday, I think it was.
Oh, with British
And,
Wrestling Revolution.
Yeah, so we had that, but we've had a singles before at Southside. I think late 2019, I think, and that was fun. That was kind of it was one of the Southside shows at the Resistance Gallery, like the kind of odd London one, and that was fun. So then we kind of thought back to that to seeing what we could add into it, but it was really fun because we both kind of like he's doing like amazing things now, like wrestling Will, and he's up and down the country all the time, and then I've gotten better, like way better since then. So it was nice to finally kind of wrestle again after all that time, and we'll probably end up doing it again soon because it was just a really fun match.
I'm trying to remember who it was that we were talking to that said about how RKJ really laid his strikes in. I can't remember who.
Oh yeah, he does. Yeah.
Okay, but Chris Ridgeway or RKJ striking you then?
What would I prefer? Or
well, which one strikes the hardest? Women on you know, the next time, whoever he doesn't say right now, the next time he gets in the ring with him,
I'd say like kicks, it'd be Ridgeway, but chops and forearms, Ricky.
Oh, he has an excellent chop.
Because I tensed my chest and it still went through me. But Ridgeway's kicks are something else. You feel your spine go numb.
I mean, I've been watching RKJ in person since he was about 14 because I always go around the holiday camps in Norfolk.
Yeah.
And just to see him continuing on and growing the way he has is phenomenal. It really is.
Yeah. He just doesn't stop wrestling. I think he just wrestles every weekend non-stop.
Yeah. And has done probably since he was about 12.
Yeah. Pretty standard.
It's something we talk about quite a lot, that the Americans don't seem to realize, and you know, don't seem to get that happens in the UK, that are, you know, do start out at 14, 15. I'm sure it's going to be a little bit more different, possibly going ahead, considering everything that's happened. But yeah, you know, we're quite happy for British wrestlers to start wrestling at 14, 15. As you say, we were wrestling at 15 under the mask. So
yeah, because I'm friends with Anthony Bowens over at AEW, and then when I first met him, I was telling him like, oh yeah, I started training when I was like this age, and he's like, what? They get really confused with it because I think in America it's more like 16 to like 18 when you're allowed to start training. It's like once you kind of fully grown and you start taking bumps and stuff like that, that's more normal. But then I was trying to explain to him, like, I started when I was like 7, debuted, like my first match I was like 13. He couldn't kind of get his head around it. It was really weird. But it's like like as well as another guy called I can never say his name right, Darian Bankston. And the same with him, like told him the same thing. He's like, because he trains at the Nightmare Factory, and there you have to be like 18. I think a bit older even to train there. And it's not normal. They find it really weird.
that's why our guys are so far ahead, though.
True.
But well, how do you become friends with Andy Bowen? Said.
So one of the companies I used to trade with, he come over here. I think he was doing like a trial or something for WWE, and they said to him, just go out and kind of get a name for yourself and then come back. So he just went out traveling. I think he went here, there, and everywhere. And then he come over to the UK, and that's when I met him. And I tried telling him, I was like, hello, my name's Callum. And I don't know why, he just couldn't pronounce it properly. And then he went, you know what, I'm just going to call you Big C. And I was like 12. I was like, all right, cool, I'm Big C now. I tried getting my mum to call me Big C, but she wouldn't do it. But yeah, no, like I can't talk today. We always try and like chat here and there. Like I'm really bad at messages. So whenever like people message me, I look at it and I go, all right, cool, I'll answer them later. And then it's like 6 months down the line, I'm like, I should answer them. But like every once in a while, I'll post something, he'll react to it, saying, "Oh, that's sick. I saw this music video you put out, that was sick." And I do the same with him. But he kicks. I forgot the guy's name, but he kicked him in the face on one of the shows, and I reacted to it like laughing. It's like you toe punted the guy in the nose, And he just like, yeah, and that was it.
So I tell you what, one of the questions we like to ask, and this we'll see how far he goes back. We like to ask about Mount Rushmore because you just mentioned America, and it's always American stars on Mount Rushmore. So we decided to make Mount Rushmore. If you could pick 4 UK stars who have you felt have influenced the scene, influenced yourself as well, it's completely personal. Which 4 stars would you put up there?
Jesus. I put Will on there, obviously, because I think like he knows as well. He's like sparked. Pretty much every high flyer now has watched Will Ospreay. Right? Even if you say you haven't, you have. Say Mark Andrews as well. Like Mark Andrews and Pete Dunne, just their whole thing, like kind of like just everything they've done, like going to America and seeing all the music videos they put up, and just everything they kind of did for wrestling alone, insane. How many people is it? Is it 4, isn't it?
Four, yeah. So you got one more. So you got Will Ospreay, Andrews, and Pete Dunne.
Which is a pretty damn strong start.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I'll put Dean Allmark on there as well.
Yeah.
Nice.
I feel like Dean doesn't like. I don't know. I feel like he's kind of underappreciated a little bit because everyone's stealing everything off of Dean, and he's so sick. Like, everything he does is so smooth. It's so slick, no matter what. Because you see like his training videos, and he just does the same thing. It's 3 different clips, and every single one just gets smoother and smoother and smoother. And it's the same in matches. So I'll put Dean up there because I'm always stealing stuff from him as well, back to training. Like there's so many videos on my Instagram just saved with all these like training clips.
No, yeah, he does some apps. He is just phenomenal when you see him in the ring, and you doesn't matter what style you want either. He can wrestle whoever you are any way he wants to wrestle.
Yeah,
and and
he's got a lot of bottle for doing a top rope leg drop.
Yeah, it's not a nice landing. I remember he mentioned something about that. He did it at the Wrestle Carnival show against Doug, and yeah, he said the landing on that really was a bit harsh. And he does it. Apparently, he does like a little gesture to the crowd that he's never done before. Apparently, and it was a nice gesture.
No thanks.
So what do you like to hit from the top rope as your finisher then?
No, I think the shooting star. I just got it really clean. Because I like through lockdown, I just didn't go in the ring for ages because I was like, oh, I got a break from wrestling. I'm going to chill out. And everyone like, I got so many messages from people saying, just sit down, like chill out for a month. Don't do nothing. Just sit there. Okay, cool. And then I just ended up like speaking to friends I haven't spoken to in ages, just chilling out. It was fun. And then every time I went in the ring, I was just trying new stuff, except for a shooting star. Because in my head, I was like, oh, I've got it. It's fine. I didn't do it for like 4 or 5 months. Because as well, when we was doing the no fan things, where the top rope was, there was like holes going across the ceiling that were quite close. So it felt like every time I jumped, I was going to hit it. But there was like one corner where I could do it. It was fine. But I kept having those breaks, and just through one break, I just couldn't shoot and start. Just got on the top rope and I just froze. This sucks. But then just ended up just sending it, and then ever since then, it's just got cleaner and cleaner and cleaner. And I like the pictures as well, where like my back's arched and the hands are out. It's just one of my favourite pictures people get when it's right, because sometimes people don't get the right picture. And I'm like,
It was during that Epic Encounter series when I first actually got to see you properly, and it was against Dan Maloney at Epic Encounters one. I was just like, oh, the Rev Pro UK doing a pay-per-view. I might as well just pick it up, see you. And that match you had Dan Maloney was fantastic. I was just so impressed. I was just like, who is this guy? Why have I never seen him before? And then, as you say, you get all the plaudits from Andy Quilden on the commentaries, always plays you up. Although I do like Gideon, great nickname for you.
Oh, I love his commentary. Every time, like, when he's at a show, I go up to him, like, you on comms? Yeah. Like, good. I'm either the Gummy Bear Kid or the Gummy Bear King. all on my, like, sugary drinks and gummy bears. Like, cool. One day I'm going to do my intros and just, like, slip him a bag of gummy bears, see if he, like, creases on commentary.
I just want to know, because obviously, have you ever seen the original cartoon, The Gummy Bears?
No.
No,
He's too young for that.
I was going to say, you'll have to check it out, because again, it suits so well, because they used to bounce and spring all around the place. So it's actually really apt in so many different ways. So I'm sure he knows that.
How old are you now, Callum?
19.
I've got 2 children older than you.
Yeah, I'm the youngest of the boys. Everyone thinks it's like Danny or Lando, but it's me.
Well, that's because you're actually, you are. Are you going to be a heavyweight or a cruiserweight?
I don't know. I'm happy being a cruiserweight right now. Like, I'm trying to fill out a little bit, just like my chest and shoulder wise. But I don't know. I think if I ever kind of get bored of like the cruiserweight thing, then I might kind of step up. But right now, I'm just happy being known as the cruiserweight guy. I want to put on a little bit of weight. I'm not too sure. I keep changing my mind. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I would like to be a heavyweight and still be able to do the flips, because I don't know. That always seems a bit fun, a bit different.
Much like your mentor, Mr. Ospreay, right now walking around 235-ish and
Too heavy.
Still pulling off that what's it, the Urahara moonsault, and he's just it's just not fair. And I'm sure you will be exactly the same when you are in that position. You are at one point going to be, my opinion, going to be one of the biggest stars in the wrestling industry worldwide. So if you're going to do a tour, what would you go for first? Would you like to go to Europe and do a little tour? Would you like to go to Japan, do a little tour, or America and do a little tour? Which would you like to hit? Do them in order. Which one would you want to go to?
Japan would be last, because I'd like to feel ready for it. Because like me and like the boys, so like Danny, Mayhew, and Joe, we're all like best mates. Because everyone thinks it's a gimmick. We're all kind of hugging at the end. Like, no, we're actual like best friends. We just want to kind of just go places and wrestle. So like, we could end up just going to America for like a month, pay for the flights there, wrestle there, and make the money back. But I do Europe first, because going to Austria was quite fun, and it's just close. Probably just drive all around it. Then America, then Japan. I feel like that's kind of, one's better than the other.
You say about the 4 of you being best friends. We've got Northwest Strong. Can we have Southeast High?
Southeast High. We could do.
I like that. Yeah, I think that's going to work.
High. Sounds like a school.
It does.
I'm sure there was a show, actually, something like that. Sweet Valley High, that was the one. Back when we were children, teenagers.
It was in black and white then. They only had 4 channels.
Yeah. Is that when you had to go up to a telly and press the buttons on it?
We had to put 50p in. Shit, I have actually been to a hotel once where you did have to put 50. No, that's the different story.
No, I my first TV, yes, it had a knob on it, and I used to have to turn the knob to get to channel 1, 2, 3, or 4. Oh, it's just so.
This is depressing.
Yeah, we're going to try. Well, you mentioned Rings of Europe, and you wrestled one of the top Hungarian stars right now. If you're like, he is you, but Hungarian, and Peter Thianyi. What was that match like? Because he's absolutely phenomenal.
Oh yeah, he's insane. Like, he's absolutely insane. He's a really nice guy too. Because when I first got there, everyone spoke English, but not very well. And I was just kind of sat in a corner on my own. Like, there was some people that was there, like Miss Monica. But she's like been over here, and I've met her a couple of times, so still like chatting back and forth. But everyone else there was a couple like Scottish people and stuff. I was still kind of on my own. But then it's turned up and we're getting the match going. He speaks like really good English, and then after a while, all the ideas started coming. The match was really fun, and he can do some like insane stuff, like spinning DDTs, like running off the rope. It's insane. But the match, I think he just put up the match a few days ago, like the whole show, and then the next day we had a triple threat where it was me, Peter, and a guy called Oski.
It was Gulius Olsik. Gulius, who's wrestling over at WXW, and yeah, he's big lad, big ball. So I'm sure you two were able to provide him good distances on his throws.
Oh yeah, it was really fun, and like because in Austria they all speak German as well, or at least they all did there, and for some reason we done on the triple threat. We was all on the outside, and the ref started counting, but it was counting in German, and none of us had any idea what he was saying. So I kind of sat up and asked him, and he started counting in English, and then all of us were kind of under the ring giggling. Right, okay, we've got to get up and that serious now. So it was all really fun. It was a really nice experience.
How good is your German? Because did you study it at school? Did they still study?
I done French. Don't remember none of it. Like if I get lost in France, I know to say like, "Hello, can I have a sandwich?" or something.
Où est la piscine?
But I'd love to see you get over to Passion Pro. It's the Hungarian promotion at the moment. It's actually just being building up. We were talking to Corey McRae, and that's where Peter Thianyi and Gulias are doing some absolutely fantastic stuff, as well as the Aris of Hungary. Yeah, I'd love to see you in the WXW ring as well in Germany. So hopefully we'll see that in the next few things.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of younger British wrestlers being picked up in Europe at the moment. Joe's just been over to Spain. Michael Oku's about to go off to Italy. Corey's in Hungary.
Meant to go to Spain, Joe.
Why didn't you go then? What happened?
Because all like the restriction stuff kept like happening more and more and more. And then I was like, you know what? I'm not going to risk it. And I was like, it's close to Christmas as well, so I'd rather just kind of sit about and do nothing the week before Christmas. It would have been fun. I think I was meant to wrestle Joey Sky, I think his name is. He's like one of the young guys out there. And yeah, I just didn't want to risk it. I think Joe got there and back quite fine, but it's like, I don't want to risk it. Even when I'd done the Austrian trip, there was still that thought of, could I get stuck in Austria? And the weekend after that, Austria went into lockdown. Like, okay, so I kind of just escaped it then, I guess.
Yeah, no, I can understand that. It's all a bit nerve-wracking at the moment. So, of course, we will be in our Tea and Tights branded face mask when we come and see you wrestle the day after Boxing Day on the 27th of this month for Rev Pro UK. You are teaming up with your tag team partner, JJ Gale, and you're going to take Sunshine Machine. That's just going to be nuts. You've wrestled them before already, so we know what the match is somewhat like. Yeah,
the last match we had was quite crazy. But now we've got a higher ceiling, it might be a bit even more crazy. So it's going to be fun. I'm really excited.
Actually, no, we actually saw the Sunshine Machine match. We were there that. Yeah, well, that was in Huntingdon. So that was actually the first match that we saw as just myself and Dan as Tea and Tights was Rev Pro UK. It was you guys against Sunshine Machine. And we were saying before, Wrestle Carnival, the first time we sat as a trio was, again, yourself. That incredible match for Wrestle Carnival. Obviously, I know Gary Ward is a big fan of yourself. And that match you put on was crazy. Just so good.
It's my favourite match of the year so far.
Sick.
You're stealing all the plaudits from Dan. So, you know, you mentioned they are your best friends. What's it like just to get in the ring? Do you discuss it, or do you just go in there and just go, let's just go and wing it?
Most of it was kind of just like on the day. So we was like, right, I know your stuff, I know your stuff, I know your stuff. And then we're not kind of stressed out, because I always get nervous before matches, like no matter who it's against. But then that day, everything was fine. It was kind of just all chilled out. No one was getting stressed, and yeah, it was just a really kind of nice vibe between us. And through us talking through everything, we're all giggling and joking about each other. So it's like really nice to kind of hang out, because it's kind of rare now. All four of us are at a show together. So when we are, it's hilarious, and it's quite nice because like Mayhew's kind of moved up somewhere in the middle of nowhere. Joe's in Peterborough. I'm Essex, and Danny's like South London somewhere. So it's like we're not that close, like living together. Like, but we met up kind of a few days before the show. I was like, right, we might try this, we might try that, might do this, might do that. Let's have a mess about. And then on the day, everything kind of clicked. So it was all turned out to what it was.
Damn, and of course, Danny Black has just become the FNW heavyweight champion after defeating Luke Jacobs. That show is right now available on Pad 4 TV. Callum Newman was part of the Z-Force Magnificent 7 ladder match, which ended up being 6 people rather than 7 because of COVID issues, to be honest. And Tom Farewell, phenomenal guy. Have you wrestled much with Tom Farewell before? No,
the only time we've actually like kind of worked together was that ladder match. But we were speaking before the show, saying that we want to work with each other a lot more. And I really kind of wanted to work with him in that ladder match a lot more, but it kind of just didn't like work out. But I definitely want to wrestle Farewell in a singles match soon, because he's sick. Kind of, I never really knew about him much, but after seeing him lately and seeing all his stuff out online, he's a very good wrestler.
I'm hoping to see you more in FNW because I bought a season ticket for this year, so I'm hoping I'll get to see a lot more of you with them.
Let's hope so. I'll message Billy now. It's like, all right, give me the dates.
Now, of course, you didn't pick up the championship in the ladder match, but you do own a pinfall victory over the new heavyweight champion when you defeated him to get a spot for that Magnificent 7. Do you think that entitles you to a title match right now?
Yeah, I beat him twice. Yeah, I've got 2 pinfalls over Danny, so easy money. You know, like the belt's basically just sitting there for me. But I don't know, Danny keeps getting better and better and better every time he wrestles. So I might be a bit too confident, but hopefully it happens.
I think at FNW, as we say, Callum Newman has the pinfall victory over the heavyweight champion. So, I mean, I'm sure Chris Ridgeway would like his shot because he never officially lost the title. So I'm sure he's going to have issues. Of course, I mean, if it comes to it, will you back him up if Northwest Strong come and invade? Scott Oberman, Joe Kessler, Keenan Krishna, Luke Jacobs. I mean, it's a real chance.
I can't ditch him for the Northerners. I got to stay with the boys. Even if that happens, I got to back the boys.
Jay Joshua and Billy Hayes are phenomenal, 2 young talents as well. There's so many great young British wrestlers right now. And as you say, you're one of the youngest, you're still one of the top guys. Tom Farewell, he's 19 as well. So as you say, a phenomenal. His matches in TNT Ignition as late have been fantastic. But who, our big friend, the tribal chief of the Big Fat Geek, he has asked us to ask you 2 questions. One of which is, who out there have you not faced that you want to face?
Oh, Robbie X. Someone give you the match.
You don't face Robbie X yet?
So it's meant to happen 3 times, and all those 3 times it's changed. Was meant to have like a scramble match, like a fatal 4-way, but then it just didn't work out, and he was put in another match. And then have a word with your mate Gary Ward when he was running the other promotion, WrestleGate. It was meant to end up being me versus Robbie for a cruiserweight title, but then it never happened. So it's meant to happen, and then like it's always been in talks. Whenever like I go to promotion, me and Robbie are there. It's always kind of like, right, when's this happening? Even at, like I think sometimes at Rev Pro, it's like, right, when are you and Robbie gonna wrestle? And we've spoken about it. It's like it'll happen one day. It's like, why hasn't it happened yet?
I'm shocked that hasn't happened. I would have thought it would have happened on Rev Pro. But of course, he is the British Wrestling Revolution heavyweight champion right now. So, you know, call him out, call your shot, get that heavyweight title, mate.
Not yet. If anything, I just want a match. I don't care if it's for the belt. Right? I don't really care if Robbie's involved and it's for like the Rev Pro Cruiserweight title, which I'm like the only belt I really want at the minute is the Cruiserweight one. Even if it was for that, and I just want to wrestle Robbie. I don't even know where I'm going with this talking. Just give me Robbie X.
You've heard it here, folks. Lads, get out there. Somebody book it.
I'll put money for a ticket for that.
Me too. And talking to Wrestle Carnival, are you going to throw your hat in for a shot at the Carnival Championship, do you reckon?
Don't answer that in case you are.
Probably not. I haven't spoken to Gary about anything Wrestle Carnival wise. All I've had with that is the 4-way. I've heard nothing else since.
That was an incredible match still. That was, as you say, Danny Black. And what was the other question you wanted to ask again? I've completely lost my track.
Well, while you're looking for that one, I'm going to ask a question. I'm going to ask, obviously, being the mature elder statesman of British independent wrestling that you are, who do you see as the new young up-and-comers on the Brit Wres scene?
Jesus.
It's not that they're not out there. It's just who do you pick? Of, you know, because obviously you could say the obvious guys. We said to Joe that he wasn't allowed to do it. So we're going to say to you that you're not allowed to just pick Joe and Danny and Maverick.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really see them guys as like up and comers anymore. I feel like Danny's on the WWE network all the time. Mayhew, wherever he goes, is a barn burner, and Joe's like seen as one of the top flyers now. I don't know. There's like, I'd say Farewell was definitely getting better. So he's definitely one to watch. A guy called Joe Kessler in Northwest Strong. I think everyone in Northwest Strong, because like whatever Ridgeway's doing and like training wise, it's obviously working. Like Keenan, I used to train with Keenan when he was at Lando School Lucha Libre, and he's so sick. He disappeared for a while, and he's just been training almost every day. And I saw him at a title show. We were speaking, getting along, chatting about life. And then he was at the Fight Nation show in a tag match. And I was like, what's going on? Because he was like here 1 minute and he's up here the next. He's definitely one. Trying to think. There's so many guys I looked at like through lockdown. I was like, oh yeah, like they're the up and comers. But I don't really kind of watch much wrestling. So like now I'm kind of at shows, I'm like, they're not up and comers anymore. They're kind of seen as the new guys that are kind of making British wrestling good again.
And it really is.
Just so good. I know two guys who I think are absolutely brilliant young guys. You've been in the ring with them, and it's Joe Wade and Jack Bandicoot. You mentioned it just before, title championship wrestling.
Yeah,
I want to see that match because I can just imagine that must have been a bit nuts.
It was like insane. Like I think it was just more people, and if the two of them just kind of just get out more, I guess, because Joe's very good. He's just kind of, I guess, just not out there as much. But I think once he starts
to make his name,
yeah, and once he starts pinging about, it'll be insane.
Another young guy I'd love to see you get in the ring with is Leon Slater, and he's
everyone keeps talking to me about Leon.
See,
like every time I'm up north, people are like, "Oh, you and Leon." And then I first saw him at the BWR show when they done that 8-man tag, and some of the bits saw it was quite good. Like just does a leapfrog and tucks his legs and just basically jumps over the person.
I saw that one at Prime Wrestling. First time I was just sitting there. I'm just like, I've never seen Leon. I've heard about him. And the first thing he does is, yeah, as you say, that leapfrog where he doesn't actually leapfrog. He just jumps. It's crazy.
Keep running.
Yes, absolutely. So the other question, but you kind of answered it, was what is it that you're most wanting to do in 2022? and that is, let's face it, face Robbie X and get that cruiserweight title at Rev Pro UK.
Pretty much, yeah, and just get good.
One young guy that I'd love to see you against, I don't know if you already have or not, I'm assuming you probably have, is Nino Bryant.
No. Well, we had like a scramble match, and I'd done the most insane facing I've ever done with someone ever, because he can just throw him everywhere. But me and Nino used to train together. So when I said before where Will said I'm Eddie Guerrero, he called Nino Rey Mysterio. So
well,
I can see it.
We've just heard that Nino's younger brother is coming through as well.
Yeah, so you should train with all of them. Even like, so there's three: Nino, Xander, and Leland. I think the youngest one. They're all insane. They're all just insane at flips, and you can base them for anything. They're all mental. Yeah,
because they're going to be as a tag team for Triumph Pro Wrestling, where you're going to be amongst most of the, as you say, Danny Black as well, and a few other guys, Warren Banks, Corey McRae, Joe Lando, and that one is Cruise Control on the February 12th. That match is going to be there, so that's going to be a big show.
That's not too far away from me, is it?
Got all the days. That is, where is that? Romford.
Oh, Romford. I was there yesterday. That's no distance.
Really?
I may not have an excuse. Yeah, I was in Romford yesterday. I'm based in Hertfordshire.
Oh, okay. I live in Romford. So.
Oh, well, I've got family friends that I go and pick up and take from Hertfordshire to Romford quite often.
Well, don't forget, they were PEW messaged us saying about getting down to their show as well. So we've got to fit that one as well. Just wanted, you're going to have to make up for me because I'm getting married next year. So I'm now banning myself from going to shows until I get married because I spent a lot of the money that was supposed to go to the wedding because we just didn't know when the wedding was going to be anymore. So I spent it all on wrestling shows instead.
Yeah, if I keep going to the number of wrestling shows, I'll be getting divorced.
Oh, but as you say, just because guys like yourself out there and so many others are just keeping the scene alive, and I don't think there's ever been as big a crop of so much raw young potential in the UK. Do you think that's because NXT UK? Because I know a lot of people talked about how NXT UK was a bad thing and it took a lot of the big stars away at the time. But do you think it's helped bring a lot of guys to start training to get?
I don't know, like, because it took loads of guys away. So then I think everyone was like, British wrestling's dead. That kind of brought everyone down. So everyone's like, well, if everyone thinks it's dead, then what's the point in us carrying on? Like, I think even like me and the boys kind of felt like it because it was like, oh, British wrestling's dying. British wrestling's now dead. It was like, if fans are saying it, what's the point in us carrying on? Wrestling the way we're wrestling, doing these flips, taking these silly bumps, and if like no one's going to appreciate it. But then I don't know. I feel like just there's a bit of a boom, and then I think seeing, I guess like the younger guys doing big things like Joe Nelson, like the guy's insane. I think seeing someone like him, seeing Joe doing all these crazy flips, people look at him, oh, what if I can do that? And I think there's just like, I guess like healthy competition between everyone in wrestling now. Like, I don't think there's anything bitter between anyone like at shows anymore. It's like, right, if you can do that, I'm going to give it a go. And then it's like sometimes at training, you get some people, it's like, right, you're going to do 30 press ups, I'm going to do 31. If I'm doing 31, you're doing 32. And then it just brings people up and we're all getting better because of it. And everyone's really friendly at shows as well. Like, there's nothing where you're going to turn up and you're like, oh, this person's here, that person's there. It's all fun and everyone kind of involves it.
I think a lot of fans forget that at one point, Will Ospreay, a certain villain, Nick Aldis, Doug Williams, all these guys, they left the scene. And guess who came up? Tyler Bate, Pete Dunne, and all the guys. And yeah, they've gone on to NXT UK. But then there were guys like yourself who were already beginning to swell. So the whole notion of when they said Brit Wres was dead, I hated it because I just looked around and said, how can you call it dead when there's, you know, no, they're not stars yet, but they're just beginning to become stars. What you need to do is support them and treat them as their stars. And the British media needs to do that a bit more as well, to treat British wrestling stars like they are stars.
Yeah.
You know, look at what Will Ospreay has achieved for UK wrestling, from a young lad of 16, like yourself at one point, and now he is the New Japan World Heavyweight Champion right now.
Real champ.
He is. Come on, Will. There we go. Tweet that one for us, Will.
But let's be honest here. He should be getting national media attention. There's no two ways about it. He should be treated in a bigger way nationally, and people should know what's been going on with it, because it's a big thing. It really is.
I'm
getting on my high horse.
Well, we'll get back to the days of Big Daddy, not Big Daddy Dan, but Big Daddy, the original Big Daddy. Look, Callum, we've got on you for an hour, so we'll probably let you go now, because it's just been absolutely so much fun to talk to you, and we can't wait to see more of you. Can't wait to see you again, Sunshine Machine, in St. Neots. It's going to be a fantastic show, Rev Pro UK.
You'll be able to recognise us because we're wearing the t-shirts that look kind of like that.
I'm pretty sure I remember him at the Wrestle Carnival show.
You did take a photo with us. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's how I remember it. And I think Danny was like, "Oh yeah, I think you said something about geeks," and then Danny was like, "Don't worry, we're geeks as well."
Yeah.
We want to challenge you guys, all of you, to a little geek competition. We can get an individual judge. I think the guys at UKPW said that they could host it for us. So we'll have myself, Big Daddy Dan, and the tribal chief of the Big Fat Geeks, Mr. Stephen Soudan. We want to challenge the four of you. So once we've spoken to Danny, Mr. Danny back next year, we'll get that arranged, and we'll have a super special of Callum
Geek
Newman,
off.
Maverick Mayhew. Oh, that'd be brilliant if you'd be up for it, of course.
Oh yeah.
Excellent. I think we're going to have to just get this arranged. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, just remember one thing: don't feed the trolls.